Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope we meet you well. It's a public holiday, it being Good Friday, and so here we are together. Okay, we always talk current affairs here, and our guest this morning is Prince Kassim Afegbua, public affairs analyst and APC chieftain. He joins us from our Abuja studio. A fine morning to you, Prince Kassim Afegbua.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you? Happy Good Friday.
Thank you very much. I'm good, thank you. I'm sure you are too. Now, I thought...
Thank God.
Yes, I thought we might look at this whole subject of, this coalition that people keep on talking about. The coalition as announced or started from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Kaduna State Governor, and for that matter, former Governor Peter Obi, also the presidential candidates of Labour Party. Now, they say that there's a need to rescue democracy. It's interesting to me, Prince, that the PDP, maybe PDP is the lead member of this coalition. The PDP has said that, it's not interested in any coalition. It's not going to work. Instead, whoever has those kind of feelings, come over to PDP. Let us join together in PDP. PDP is not joining anybody. You can come and join PDP. So give me your reaction. We haven't spoken since that scenario. Give me your reaction to the PDP coming across like that. Say, join us by all means, if you will. But as for we coming into any coalition, we don't think so.
Well, Uncle Yori, I think the point must be established ab initio that the whole idea of coalition is driven by selfish interest. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the characters and the actors and the factors that are coalescing together in the name of coalition, there are people who have one grouse or the other to grind with the present government, and by extension, some persons who have reached their pensionable age of having put in 35 years as perennial aspirants and candidates of elections since 1990. And in this instance, I'm talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. By 2027, he will have put in about 35 years, which is the normal age for retirement. So he should naturally retire. And if he wants to now drive a process that will add value to our democratic process, fine. But if he's trying to do a coalition that will present him again as a candidate for election in 2027, I will say that that will amount to, just wasting resources, burning goodwills, and he had better been advised to stay away from contesting than coming around this time to drive coalition. The PDP is very smart. They are very wise because they know that... Did you try to talk to me?
No. Please continue, Prince.
Okay, the PDP is very wise and smart. They are the major opposition party. They are the nucleus of the Nigerian opposition group, so to speak. And because they have about, at the level of 12 states, governors, and so they will naturally, be the attractive bride that anybody who wants to, do coalition should naturally meet so that they can drive the process. They can't leave the structure of PDP and join another party.
So what do you think of the SDP as a vehicle, since that's where former Governor Nasir El-Rufai seems to have pitched his camp now. I don't know how comfortable you think that they are with this caper.
Well, I don't know why people, or let me say the media, place too much emphasis on Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Politically, it's not on ground. He rode on the crest of General Buhari's popularity in the north to become governor, and even those two instances, they were contested heavily. And while he was leaving office, out of 14 House of Rep members in Kaduna State, APC could only secure 4 out of 14. 10, the PDP won 10 positions. Out of the 3 senators in Kaduna State, APC lost all the 3, and PDP won all the 3. So where is the political background? Where is the political strength? If you want to talk about people who have political following in the north, I don't think Malam Nasir El-Rufai is one of them. With due respect, even though he has served as a governor. We also don't want people who are controversial to think that they can carry their controversy to the point of political relevance that will alter the apple cart, as it were. I think, without beating around the bush, Uncle Yori, I must tell you that the political factors, you know, both centripetal and the centrifugal forces are massing in support of Tinubu for 2027, whether you like it or not. Aside from being an incumbent, he's a political strategist who has paid his dues, as we say in politics, you know, for a long time. And the first time he struck at the presidency, he won the election. So when you see a tactician, a political tactician, a strategist of note, you will know, not those ones who are grandstanding and trying to think that without them that the country cannot move forward. I don't like people to display some level of political arrogance in the way and manner they pursue their political aspirations. Everybody is important in politics. We need everybody on board and all that. But for God's sake, if you don't get what you desire at a particular point in time, don't say you want to break down the roof or you want to break the pot of soup so that others will not feed. I have a very strong reservations about persons who have benefited from the APC structure, as it were, and now thinking that because they are not calling the shots in certain responsibilities, that they want to spoil the cook.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
For me, SDP may be an opposition party, but they are not on ground nationally. They may have an appeal of being social democratic party of the old, but in terms of the present operators of that party and in terms of the present structure, they are not strong and formidable enough to warrant anybody losing sleep over them. If you talk about Labour Party, well, it is neither here nor there. They are embroiled in crisis today, tomorrow. As we speak, they have 2-3 factions. The Nena Usman faction, the Aburi faction, despite the ruling of the Supreme Court, they are still, contesting quite a number of internal issues. Apampa has come out again, that is the authentic chairman. Quite a number of issues. And I've asked the question before. Those who want to be president of Nigeria, number one, Atiku Abubakar, he has the right, inalienable right under the Constitution, fine. But can't they also sit back and organize their party to become an attractive bride for everyone who wants to contest the election as an opposition party? The PDP is presently, fragmented. They are in different factions. There's acting chairman for more than 2 years now. They can't even organize a convention. They can't even provoke any serious discourse within the concentric circle of politics. The Labour Party is embroiled in crisis. That is Peter Obi's party. He can't even organize a political party. So if they were given opportunity to preside over the country, is this how they are going to divide Nigeria into different factions and what have you? Even the SDP, chairman by my very good friend Shehu Gabam, you can see that they already shouted that they don't want their party to be hijacked or to be taken over by people who do not know the history of their own evolution. So there are quite a number of issues. And my quick take is that anybody who wants to preside over this country should show some level of seriousness in the way and manner that they run their political parties, their contribution to national discourse, the ability to dialogue on issues, constructively engage, collectively bargain for the overall good of the country. Because in a democracy, whether you like it or not, you must have opposition as an integral part of presenting an alternative voice or voices, as it were, on issues of policies, issues of engagements, issues of national cohesion, issues of national engagement. But if you think that it's all about yourself, your aspiration, and your ambition, I will consider that as very selfish and unproductive. It won't lead anywhere. So from day one, the coalition is already dead on arrival.
In fact, I think that particular statement was made, by one of the governors. It escapes my mind now. But that the no coalition, so the quote had went, or now I'm paraphrasing the quote, no opposition, no coalition, especially in the light that you have described what we have now, is going to be able to remove the president, at the next election. And as you have said, there's much to be fixed in those individual parties. Instead of concentrating on that, here they are. In fact, Prince, you took the words out of my mouth, because there are those who will say that, okay, if you come on board as you wish, is it this fragmentation that the nation shall be, bedeviled by, especially against the backdrop of, look, I don't know, people have been commenting on the president's stewardship from day one, and then the monumental steps he has been taking, such as have not been taken before. All you see is criticism, which of course it is entirely their right. But when you were saying that the contribution to national discourse, the alternative proposals, where are they? We don't see any of that. And perhaps the biggest thing, you also alluded to it, is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency, the former Vice President of the country. I personally, from what I know of him in the news over the years, in fact, over the decades, he's not going to give up his quest, I don't think. He's not going to give up his quest. And so to that extent, how selfless are the gentlemen, Peter Obi, Nasir El-Rufai, Atiku Abubakar, to what extent are their actions
Uncle
in the interest of Nigeria?
Let me help you to dissect a few of these scenarios.
Okay.
You see, the point must be made clearly that as we speak, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency is being anchored on the very strong need of a southern presidency in 2023. After a Buhari 8 years, it was natural for the South to run the course. Now, there are those who argue that within the southern hemisphere, so to speak, that it should be southeast, and it should be southwest, or it should be south-south. Well, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, against all odds, despite all the political landmines, emerged the candidate of the APC, presented essentially by about 14 governors of the North, El-Rufai inclusive, because they felt that it was a matter of justice, equity, and shaping the political algorithms that the southern part of the country emerged as candidate and the president of the country. The PDP, as it were, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar emerged from a very flawed primary process, which also pitched him against 5 governors of the PDP, spearheaded by Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister as of today. And that was based on the understanding that it should be a southern thing. So when you take 5 governors away from Atiku, you could see why Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as the candidate and as the president of the country. While Atiku was, lashing onto his northern support, Peter Obi was latching into his Christian support. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was lashing onto his Nigerian support. Nigerians, he was a pan-Nigerian candidate, and that reflected in the distribution of his votes. Because even within his own Southwest geopolitical conclave, he lost 1 or 2 states. So he was not parochial in terms of his support base. He was pan-Nigeria. Everywhere in the country, he got certain quantum of votes to meet the constitutional requirement. Now, if Elijah Atiku Abubakar wants to alter the political calculation by emerging president, for example, it will mean that he's denying the southern Nigeria, 4 years or maybe 8 years, as the case may be, of our opportunity to complete our term. If Peter Obi is going to come as president, it will mean that the North will be out of power for another 8 years, which they will not agree. So, head or tail, the odds favor an Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency for his second term, starting from 2027, so that after 4 years in 2031, it will be the turn of the North. Except if there are political, adventurism that will tend to alter this particular political algorithm. That is where you could have another presidency maybe coming from the southeast. And I doubt if the North will allow that. So now that it's our turn as Southerner, I spoke very, very eloquently on this in 2023. And my position has remained the same, that it is the turn of the South to balance the dichotomies, to balance the political algorithms, and ensure that there is some level of political stability in the country. After the South, you can take the power back to the North, and what have you. So, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coasting home to victory already, if you look at all of these factors. The second factor you raised, the point you raised about issues of how he has been presiding over the country. There is nobody that took over power in 2023 that will behave differently from the policy framework of what I have seen. I have interrogated quite a number of initiatives taken by this government, and I have seen leadership by courage, leadership by boldness, leadership by forward thinking, and leadership that is utility-driven in the way and manner that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has presided over the country. He inherited a government, quite a number of these issues from his predecessor, but he's been magnanimous and very mature in the way and manner he has said, yes, previous government may not have worked well, but I'm inheriting both the liabilities and the even though it was not captured in his speech, he made a pronouncement that became his takeoff point. And according to him, it was better for him to, essentially interrogate the hard nuts so that he can dissect them and pick up the pieces than just sitting down and lamenting like other people have done, lacking the courage to take, a futuristic decision that will help the economy of the country. And as we speak today, you see the Petroleum Industry Act, some of the provisions are being implemented, and their far-reaching impacts are becoming so evident and obvious. So government, it's not in the business of lamentation. The business of government is to take decisions, no matter how painful, to ensure that at the end of the day, there will be something edible for the people, something that will be attractive for the people, so that in the final analysis, they could add value to the commonality of their existence. But when you are in opposition and you are not able to interrogate the issues, you criticize, you are not giving me an alternative. If you say subsidy was not well off to be removed, then what is? You all promised that you are going to remove subsidy. How you are going to do that, you didn't tell us. Even till now, you didn't tell us what you would have done differently. There are policies program of this government. The student loan board is there. They are giving loan. We are already seeing that even universities and some other vice chancellors and what have you are even and banks are preventing these students from enjoying these services, do you still blame government for all of those kind of lapses? There's a policy in place. There has to be citizen buy-in into government policies for them to work. And I keep saying this all the time, that there must be a conscious and deliberate attitudinal reorientation of minds, so that we don't see government as one country versus us, the citizenry. It should be a symbiotic relationship that will weave together all the factors of production for us to make a headway. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu may not be your perfect leader that you want to see, that will be genuflecting to your whims and caprices, but for God's sake, he knows where he's headed. And for every country, the president knows where they are taking their people and not where their people are taking him.
Indeed, indeed. You know, it's like, for those who examine it critically, it's like for a lack of really any substantial point to make, the group seems to me to have reverted to now blaming the presidency or the president. They say it is the president that has sort of got into PDP, has got into PDP. He has so many ways, he has so many agendas. If he's not appointing somebody from the opposition, there, of course, they were referring to Wike. You know, so he has captured, as it were, and then Wike is not making it easy for the party, that is the PDP, to come up with a candidate. So they're looking at this as sort of schemes, whereas I would have thought that the numerous things that this administration has done in just this half-term position, those are really important things that you can be talking about. The sector, the oil sector is different now. The education sector is different. And definitely strides are being made. But the opposition seems to be saying that it is the president that is working against even the ruling party by all sorts of means. I don't know what you think of this, that it is the president that is really sowing discord.
No, you see, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a political tactician. I said obtains in other political parties in order to weaken the threats that exist. Strategically speaking, you will not sit back and watch, some level of gang up against you, so to speak, and without doing anything. But go back to history. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, he advocated for government of national competence, cut across political parties. It will shock you that even those who criticized him, who called him invalid, who called him all kinds of unpalatable names, are serving in his cabinet as ministers, are serving as spokesmen, are serving as heads of parastatals. That is how magnanimous he has been in victory, without saying this is essentially an APC pot of soup that should be fed to all APC members. No. He's already seen himself as a nationalist who can draw inferences, who can draw strength from those who have capability in other political parties to be able to advance his own Renew Hope agenda. That is how contemporary leadership who are nationalists, that's how they think. But again, there are those who think that, hey, no, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is unduly giving Nyesom Wike a free hand to run the show in FCT. And the question to ask is Nyesom Wike performing? The answer is yes. Is he doing well? Yes. To whose credit? It's to the credit of the APC. whether Nyesom Wike is PDP, whether he's SDP, as far as he's performing under an APC government, the credit goes to APC. But the larger picture, for me, is the opposition being able to articulate alternative viewpoints without just criticism for the sake of criticism. I want to see therapeutic criticism that will be healing enough by the kind of ideas they are able to canvass in the public space. Not criticism for the sake of criticism. We already know what is happening. We know there are economic challenges facing us. What are the ideas you are bringing on board that will make the present arrangement look different from what you are bringing on board? Or that will be utility-driven, result-driven, more or better than what obtains. It is not enough for people or opposition politicians to tell me, oh, the president floated the naira, and because of that he has devalued the currency and what have you, without you telling me what you could have done differently that will help the value of the naira. Because it is easier for people to criticize, why did they float the naira? If they don't float naira, what else would they do? Have we seen countries that floated their currency, and have we seen the benefit it has brought to them? All we need to do is to deepen our the production base. We need to be more productive in our different aspects of life to ensure that what we take out of the country can also fetch us foreign exchange. If our oil is the only huge resource that we send out, we can also develop our agricultural sector, we can develop our textile sector, we can develop our hides and skin sector to ensure that all of these things are sold, become exportable, commodities to earn foreign exchange. But you don't just say, why do you have to float the naira? Why you are not giving about it? China floated their currency. And they increase their productive base. If you want to go to China to produce anything, they are ready to produce for you, but you must use their currency, not dollars. And even with the present arrangement of them trying to come up with a common currency among the BRICS nation, it's going to impact negatively on the dollar. So with what Donald Trump is doing in America, with what BRICS is trying to do, and the European countries, you see there's going to be a serious shift in global economy. And so I want to see an opposition that can interrogate some of these issues, come up with more sellable ideas that will elicit public interest among the voters, than just name calling the man all kinds of names and what have you. Only yesterday they said, the man travel, you should come back from another government yes. Anywhere in the world. You can run your government anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
Anywhere.
Exactly. It's like casting around for something to say to my mind. But, it is their right as opposition to say that. In fact, the coalition has alleged that the PDP governors, the PDP governors rejected the alliance, and as we said earlier, and they say the motive for this was planning for the president for us to have a weak candidate, for the opposition to have a weak candidate in 2027 to split opposition votes to favor Tinubu. These are the kind of things we hear, and contrary to what you are saying, that is expected of a viable opposition, that all of this, they make it seem as if, of course, the president is a strategist. He's a master strategist. And of course, you've said it, you're not going to sit back and be twiddling your thumbs as people are, making all sorts of schemes to upend you. So, but now saying that the bigger plan of the president is to make sure that either the opposition or that they will field a weak candidate, which they think will be to the benefit of Mr. President. You've said it. You've said it more than once. You're not giving me anything substantial.
Uncle Yori, sorry that I'm cutting in, but let me just make this point. If the PDP feeds a southern candidate, they won't get votes from the north, because the north will be thinking that if a southern candidate wins, different from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that would be 8 years. Don't let anybody deceive you with any agreement, either phony or real, about 4 years arrangement for any president. No president will want to come and spend 4 years, for God's sake. He won't be able to perform. Now, if that happens, it means that the North will be denied power for 12 good years. That is one scenario. The second scenario, if the opposition feeds a northern candidate, the southern voters will not enlist such person, because it will mean that power will go back to the north after 8 years of President Buhari, 4 years of Tinubu, then 8 years of another northern president. That will be heavy for our political emanations. So either way, the odds, like I said, favor a Bola Ahmed Tinubu second term. After the first term of 4 years, 2027, another 4 years, 2031. All factors of politics and voting and all of you will now be looking into certain directions. Whether those directions could be altered, or the realities of those directions could be altered, is going to be another kettle of fish, because I'm not a seer that will see tomorrow. But I'm telling you that based on the factors on ground, yes, there's no how that a Bola Tinubu can be displaced, from realizing his second term. Because in terms of factors, in terms of persons, in terms of individuals, he has a simple majority. People don't tend to understand this. When they talk, they say, no, it's just 51% on Guyori. Opposition is 49%. So it's a ratio of just 2. So what are you talking about? That's why when they were shouting that Tinubu got 8.6 million votes or 8.9 million votes and all that, I said, all you just need is simple majority. It's a simple majority. That's why they call it tyranny of the majority. And the opposition, the minority will always have their say, but the majority will have their way. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027 project is very well on course. There's no doubt that some of the policies that he's putting in place now will yield better fruits in second term. You need a man who is very bold, who is not genuflecting to the whims and caprices of public discourse, because no government is run on the pages of newspaper. Government is run based on mandates and covenants entered into in party's manifesto. And so to that extent, I'm seeing a Bola Ahmed Tinubu positive presidency based on policies and programs that will be, that will connect to the issues on ground. Look at the coastal highway. If they can carry out that coastal highway to 70%.
I beg your pardon, Prince. Prince, I beg your pardon for yes, interjecting here. You return to that point, but I have a caller on the line from Arochukwu. Good morning, Mazi.
Yeah, that's Mazi Krapo from Arochukwu, United States. Well, we thank God that today...
This man deserves an award from TVC.
Now, when we look at the politics of Nigeria today, the coalition,
yes,
I was told just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, where the coalition in the process, particularly and they want to give to the governor, the two sons were fighting that this one is something the father, this one is something. But for the 2027 election, that is very safer. But I started asking myself, are we prepared now to talk about 2027? Or are we talking about dividends of democracy before 2027? Because we should be talking about the dividends or how to deliver the dividends of democracy to the masses, to the downtrodden. Not a question of everybody now talking about 2027. How many people in this country or the whole world will see 2027? That is why when you look at Jesus Christ when he was the apostle, he taught us how to pray. He just said them, our Father. Our Father, he told them, look at the summary of their Father. He says, give us this day. But in Nigeria, we are praying that give us this day. That is why you see corruption and confusion coming up in every aspect of the economy. Because somebody, they are talking about it. Now, if you look at the so-called opposition party, at this time, you see confusion. We thought, party this, no need of making confusion everywhere. Is that how you are going to talk about 2027? The political parties on ground supposed to put their house in order. It's not like about a woman in the house. The woman is making her, the husband is making her. How would you bring this to the children are there? It's not possible. So the 2027 coalition, to me, they are not prepared for 2027. I don't know why they are clamoring this, but you cannot jump from party A and enter party B. From party B, you are going to party B. Now you look at even plenty of them now party politics. You see the confusion there. You still know them. That's why when I look at the university sector, where they say lecturer will stay up to 70 years after that. Somebody is 60 years. He's having life difficult, and you are giving somebody to stay 70 years as a lecturer. And somebody, you're already 70 years, you are above going to 8, you're already 8, and you are talking about, you see, Nigeria should sit down and look at, not the question of politics is for everybody.
Okay, Mazi. Really appreciate your calling in and indeed your comments. Prince, I got to take a break now, but you might want to react to what Mazia has said, and also you were talking about the Lagos-Calabar road. We'll look at those matters when we come back. Do please stay with us. And by the way, you know, if you're having a difficulty seeing us on your terrestrial station, then you could also check our YouTube channel, where, you know, you can always, you know, get in touch with us through there. That, I think, is what Mazi Okoroafo has just done. Prince, you were talking, the first one that I interrupted you on was the Lagos-Calabar Road. And after that, a call came in. Did you want to pick it up again from there?
Yes, I was trying to raise the point that the president came up with the idea of building Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. And I've had several occasions, you know, where I engage with members of the opposition on the propriety, you know, of this particular project. And I asked one of the opposition members, what problem do you have with Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway? 700 and something kilometers. When present-day China is building the highest bridge that is crisscrossing over 1,000 kilometers in China, in Gunzhou. What is the problem with just building a 700 kilometers from Lagos to Calabar that will open up economic activities around the coastal areas and what have you? And what if that road is even not constructed and the money is being stolen or corruptly taken out of the system? Which one is better? You have a president who is very ambitious in terms of the quality of projects he wants to do and in terms of the economic value of those projects. Do you know the number of persons that will be employed, number of artisans and workers and laborers that will be employed constructing that road? Over 20,000 workers will be on that, if not more, that will be employed. And what makes for economic recovery is how much effort you are putting into building your infrastructure. Because there are those who will tell you that infrastructural prone economic recovery is better than the other aspect of economic initiatives. So when you have people going out in the morning to work and they come back home having money, you are adding value to the economic well-being of your people. If we are able to construct that 700 and something kilometers of road in record time, I think kudos will be given to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What should be of concern to us is not even about the project. It's about how we are going to encourage the president to get money and resources to plow into that road so that we can finish it. I don't want it to be an uncompleted project of his administration. I want that road to be completed for the beauty of it, for the economic value of it, and for the use of Nigerians. That road is not constructed in anybody's parlor. It's not constructed in anybody's community. It's cutting across several states from Lagos down to Calabar. That will be huge, you know, artery, huge access.
Again,
these are the kind of things. These are the kind of things that should engage our minds.
Okay.
So Prince, why I said Okoroafo should be given an award by TVC is because he's a regular caller on your program.
Okay. You see, there's another person another person that could conceivably be given an award. Good morning, Mr. George, and thank you very much for holding on.
Thank you, Yori, and good morning to Prince Afegbua. Each time I see Prince Afegbua, I remember Edo politics because he cannot separate Edo politics from him. So I want to say thank you for what the governor is doing. Everybody is seeing it.
Thank you, sir.
I'm proud to have been his supporter. I want to, before I go into my main comment on Korea, I want to ask Prince Afegbua, when is the Auchi Benin Road going to be completed? I know work is going on there, seriously. But
yes, work is going on. That will be the yes.
This thing we call opposition and coalition. Let me just offer some limited clarifications. As far as I am concerned, there is no opposition in Nigerian politics as of today. Because there is nothing to oppose. There is nobody out of the people who want to be president today who is opposing what the President Tinubu is doing. Are they opposing the students' loan funds? Are they opposing the Lagos, Calabar, and Badagry, Sokoto highway, coastal highways? Are they opposing removal of fuel subsidies? Are they opposing the efforts in the economic front? Which one are they opposing? If they are opposing, none of them has offered an alternative solution. If they are opposing security efforts, what alternative solution have they preferred? So as far as I'm concerned, we don't have opposition in Nigeria. Then you are talking about coalition. Coalition is made by parties, not individuals. This coalition, if you must call it coalition, is a coalition of renegades from parties. All of them are renegades in the parties they profess to belong to. Is that a coalition? No party has gotten together with another party to say we want to oppose the ruling party. So I am not seeing any coalition.
Okay.
Somebody, just an association of aggrieved people from different parties. That one cannot unseat a president that is respecting Nigeria in what I'm saying, that in years to come, even those who are abusing him today will be his best singers and praise singers. I'm not seeing any opposition.
All right, Mr. George. All right. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. So, Prince, you were talking about people who deserve awards for calling in.
Yes, I think, yes. Is it Reverend George? There's one
No,
Reverend
Mr. George.
There's another
No,
Dominic.
Mr. George.
Mr. George. Yes, Mr. George is very punctual when it comes to your program. So when you are giving your award, please extend awards to him, because they have to distillate the issues and come up with very, now that he has spoken, I've just come up with an acronym, Association of Aggrieved Politicians in Political Parties, AAPPP. Maybe that will be the name of the opposition, of the coalition. And that will be the name of the coalition. If they are looking for a name, they should just take AAPPP, Association of Aggrieved Politicians in Political Parties. So that will fit into the description of what Mr. George just said. But talking seriously, just like he said, and just like I also emphasized earlier on, what are they opposing? When you say opposition, what are they opposing? What are the ideas that they are canvassing that are different from what obtains? Are they going to be opposing the fact that they don't want student loan for our students? Are they going to be opposing the Sokoto-Badagry highway or the Lagos? What is their own alternative? Are they going to be complaining about the greater investment in combating security? For the first time in the history of this country, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government is voting in the 2025 budget 1.4 trillion for the military. It has never happened in the history of this country. People are not talking about that. That means the military will not complain of not having resources to buy the relevant arms and ammunition, but they will also have to do a lot of training and retraining of their personnel to fit into the sophistication of crimes that we now experience in the country, namely armed banditry, Boko Haram, kidnapping, and what have you. So, for the first time also, because of the removal of fuel subsidy, the country is sharing about 1.6 trillion naira monthly. This last one is 1.58 trillion that will be shared among all the component states in the country. That is more money for the states. What the media and all of us public analysts and opinion molders should do is to focus more on the activities of state governments. Because we will keep talking about federal government. There are lots of resources going to state government. What are they using these resources for? What are the impact of these resources? How much are the citizens benefiting from this kind of increased allocation to the states? These are issues that should be agitating our minds. It's not every time looking at federal government. State government are getting so much money now. And I can tell you for free that in the history of Edo 8 years, this governor, we saw in the record books of former Governor Obaseki, 1.6 trillion as income from allocation under his 8 years regime. And they spent that money up to the last kobo, and at the end of the day left us with nothing. So when we talk about accountability, probity, and transparency in governance, we should be looking at the responsibilities of different state governors and what obtains. And so, like Okpebolo, Governor Okpebolo, what he has done in the last 4 or 5 months he came on stream, he said he was not going to put signboard on federal roads in Edo because the previous government was putting signboard saying, we are sorry, this road does not belong to us, even though the roads are being plied by citizens of Edo. So Okpebolo went out of his way, met with the president, pleaded with them, and brought the Federal Ministry of Works. As we talk, palliative work between Benin and Ekpoma is almost 95% completed. They are taking it from Ekpoma down to Auchi now, and in no time before the rain sets in so heavily, I'm sure they are going to complete that. Aside from that, the governor himself has taken up a lot of major roads that are opening up the villages, where food production, is high, so that they can have access to bring them to the urban centers where the demand for them are high. So when you look at economic values of roads, in the road network, you appreciate the fact that when governments in different states are investing in this aspect, they should be commended. And that's why I'm commending the governor of Edo State for what he's doing. He's not lamenting. He's not telling you that the Tinubu is not doing this, Tinubu is not doing that. No, he's telling you that even as we speak, he's already started the process of launching a Tinubu 2027 project by ensuring that there are canvassers all over the local governments, 18 local governments in Edo State, because he feels that the president has listened to him by investing resources to fix federal roads in Edo State. Sapele Road, as we speak now, is undergoing construction. Wari Benin Road is undergoing construction. I went there, not that I was told. So Asaba Agbo Road is been flagged up 2 weeks ago. And so these are the kind of things we want to see in different states. Once we are able to deepen our conversation around infrastructure, road infrastructure across the country, mobility will be easier. Even this crime will be minimized because kidnappers wait at bad spots to prey on their victims. And once the roads are passable, they are smooth, and you can run your normal speed of 100 or 120. It will be difficult for anybody to just harass you on the highway. So these are kind of investment that nobody can fault. But if you say you are doing coalition, I will ask you coalition to where? And I've told you the scenarios. It will be difficult. Who is going to be the presidential candidate? These people who are quarreling every day.
Exactly.
Atiku Abubakar said that it is his right to be a candidate. El-Rufai is saying that he's looking for persons, spend forces in all these places. Please, I think we need to move forward, with a homogeneity of purpose so that in the final analysis, all the policy framework of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be giving room to grow and impact positively on the well-being of the country.
As you were speaking and you spoke about states and responsibilities of the governors who are now getting a much higher, contribution than before.
Allocation.
Yes, allocation than before. I just remembered the local government, the local government law that the president has caused, to come into being, to give autonomy to those people. If you don't remember that one, perhaps you remember the president sprucing up the archaic taxation laws of the country. So it goes back to what Mr. George was saying. Yes. Which one are you opposing out of all of these ones? If you are coalition.
You see, Okuyori, the cheapest thing in Nigeria is talking. Talk is cheap. But action, taking action, bold decisions, courageous decisions, are very expensive. And so when you don't have courage to speak to issues, to interrogate issues, and come up with time-tested solutions, what you do is to criticize what exists. In literary circle where I belong, it is called art for the sake of art, art for art's sake. They tell you what exists without providing solution. And some of these persons, they say a man's worldview is largely influenced by the socio-political milieu under which such a person grew up. So when you look at those who are criticizing, they thought it is criticism that birthed the APC in 2014, 2015, election. It wasn't criticism. It was speaking to the issues that the current government or the then government was not able to speak to. And you had one man, whether for whatever it is worth, called Lai Mohammed, who, whether he's sleeping in his bedroom or he's in the toilet, will issue a statement that would provide an alternative voice to whatever the government of PDP was doing.
That's right.
So,
I remember.
So when you are playing opposition, when you want to build a coalition, you put your issues on the table and you remove selfishness from it. The APC coalition that gave birth to 2015 victory was one where every individual was given opportunity to contest primaries, including Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who ran away from PDP and all of that, including Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso came second in that primaries, not even Atiku Abubakar, including quite a number of the Atiku Sokorocha, Sam Ndazaya, everybody, about 12 aspirants, and a Muhammad Buhari emerged. And after he emerged, you saw the way the party was able to rally around him without breaking ranks. That means they were united by a common front to exit a government that was not performing in their own estimation. That is how to play opposition or coalition. Not these ones that because you were not given a minister, you now grew angry and you said no. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's neck must be guillotined as a result of that. No. No, you can be in the party and because of your opportunity of a robust access to the president, give him a lot of advice and contribution that will help him to deepen governance. Not necessarily you pulling out. Those are selfish indulgences. And that is why none of these people can ever get my sympathy or my kind words. I'll be very harsh with them.
It always happens when we're together, Prince. It's so exciting. We don't know before we blink, the time has gone. And it is for this particular reason, a lot of what you spoke about that people have said in the past that all these coalitions, they're no reach. All these coalitions are not going to be able to affect.
As they call them, association of aggrieved politicians or political parties, AAPPP.
So I want to thank you very much.
Name.
I want to thank you very much, Prince Kassim Afegbua, public affairs analyst and APC chieftain, and a distinguished Edolite, as Mr. George was careful to point out. Say anything, Edo.
Yes, I'm proud of my governor. I'm proud of my governor.
Thank you very much, Prince, for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Again, happy Good Friday. Okay, so that's our program. Do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition, notwithstanding that it's Easter Monday. Do join us. We don't do holidays here. We'll be here by the grace of God. Bye-bye for now.